What's up? How you doing? Here we are. Beautiful day today. Beautiful day. Nice temperature. There's a slight breeze over there. I don't feel it yet, but I'm looking at it. It looks like about 0.378 miles per hour. Looks like west to east. So I have 5 ribeye steaks right here, prime, USDA prime, and get that. See that? Ribeye. So we got 5 of these here. Cook them down. All right, got a little rubbing alcohol there. Okay, probably cut this a little too long for me here. Nice blue sky. Got the air seems clean. As far as the visual is, I don't see any smoke in the sky. You know, there's always something. Water, delicious. So we're gonna do basically salt, pepper, and some chili powder blend. Chili powder blend. This has dry chilies in it, garlic, cumin, oregano, and salt. So I probably don't need to use the salt from that. I just do. This is probably good enough. That smells great. If you see this, pick it up. Pick it up. Highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. I may use this plate here. I'm going to do one at a time. I'm not in a rush. Flip it over. Great tender. Pat it in. Delicious. It's very good. I have a filter inside, and I filter the water, and but you know what? Even though it's filtered, you can still taste the minerals, because without minerals, the water would not taste good. So anyway, we begin here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring these inside so they're out of the way. I'll be back in a flash. You won't even notice. All right, I am back. I'm going to center this. Have some olive oil here, California olive oil. First harvest, cold press. Cold pressed. Pressed it. Steaks right here. Look at that. It's over a pound. It's like 1.2 pounds, and about 1.5 inches thick. Good color. Nice greenish green color, and you can smell it right off the bat. You know, years ago you'd go into a supermarket, and I've said this before, nobody back then, I mean, my family used it from the beginning of time, but most people back then did not use olive oil. They had no idea what that was. You know, you'd go in there, you'd see like Crisco, Mazola, Wesson, things like that. You'd see people would grab it. But olive oil, and if they had if they had olive oil, it was like the really cheap, crappy kind. For me, the good kind is cold pressed, and first harvest. Get that nice green yellow color, and it's that smell, that rich olive smell. I hate the splashing of oil. It gets all over the place. Then I have to get, you know, some what do you call it there, Mr. Clean or 409 or something like that. Clean it. Good water though. Good water. I had an aunt or an aunt and an uncle, and they had a house when I was a kid. I'd go over there, and my favorite part of that house was that it had cold water. Even in the summertime, it would be like 95 degrees outside. You turn on that water, it would come out like ice. I don't know if that neighborhood... All right, it's time. They say lay it away from you. I'll do it this way, splash. So they had this house that I would go over in the summer, winter, it didn't matter, but obviously in the winter it's going to be cold. But in the summertime, we'd be playing outside. I'd go in and I'd turn it on, let it run for a little bit, and then I put the glass, no ice. I would put the glass there and I'd drink it, and the ice, I mean, the water was like ice. Water was like ice. I mean, the water here is cold, but it's not crazy cold. You know, it's not like I went to Antarctica and got some water, which is the way I like it. So, I want to move it around. I don't want to get the thing to stick. I love watching Japanese chefs. They have, everything is just right. They have the right knife, they have the right fork, they have the right top there that they put the steak on, and then they start cooking it, and the steak has like absolutely no fat on the sides. It's a square, sometimes it's a rectangle, and they cook it, boom, 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 they flip it, they do some magic with the spatula. And then they'll take the knife, they'll put that long fork, they'll take the knife and they'll do twice. Then they flip it on its side, mix it up with some oil, again, boom, boom, and then they place on your plate nice and neat. Japanese culture does everything in a like a pattern. You know, they do it perfectly each time. So I like to go to one of those restaurants and watch them do their magic. They have a rhythm. They make noise like it's drums. You know, and tell them, give me some wagyu, and then they cook the vegetables, and they always give you like a certain amount that looks like it's not enough. But I see people there, you know, dipping it in salt, dipping it in a little this, a little that, eating it, a little conversation, talking about what happened at work, enjoying themselves. Very polite. They bow. Always look at eyes. I am fascinated with Japanese carpentry. You give them a hammer and a chisel, and they will put the wood into the groove and make angles, and no nails. No nails. Yeah, I'm thinking one day jump on a plane and go to Japan for I don't know, 10 days. Go visit that forest where people go in and take themselves out. Just want to walk through there, and then go to Mount Fuji. Go to Tokyo, where the MASH people on the MASH show would always vacation. They always say, I'm going to take leave. I'm going to go to Tokyo. Yeah, there's a few places in the world that I would like to visit. Japan is one. I'd like to go to Nepal, northern Pakistan. Northern Pakistan, beautiful mountains. Ireland. Big fan of Ireland. Beautiful country. Go to Ireland. I want to see the landscape. I want to see the city, Dublin. Just, I don't know, something about the Irish that I appreciate. Maybe it's the accent. Maybe it's Irish spring soap. Maybe it's the wool they wear. I don't know, something about them. Had a lot of Irish friends growing up, but the ones that I knew did not have that accent. Couple did. I had a friend, his last name was McDonald, no association with the restaurant, and he was from Ireland, and he had that nice cool accent. Nice cool accent. When he spoke, it felt like everything was clean, everything was tidy. And it sounded elegant. I know the British also sound that way, but yeah, the Irish have a way of speaking that sounds, but you gotta pay attention. It sounds elegant. If you don't pay attention, somewhere in that conversation, you lose information. Now, flip it. Nice crust. Nice crust. Put a little bit more of this. More is never enough. Too much is not enough either. All right. Where else can I go that looks fascinating? Northern Alaska. I've been to Alaska. Beautiful. I love Alaska. Beautiful state. But northern Alaska, imagine going up there. Even central Alaska. Greenland. Greenland has always been on my list. I have a bucket list there. Greenland. Something about it, something that, I think to me it's the fact that it's so isolated. Iceland is another place I'd like to visit, but Iceland actually has people living there. Greenland has like 56,000 people, that whole place, 3 times or 3.5 times the state of Texas. And it only has enough people to fill a stadium. Usually what I do is I cut a bunch of pieces of garlic in here, and then I'll put some, what's that other thing, rosemary. Put some rosemary. Unnecessary. So, yeah. And there's a bunch of islands. I'm always looking for uninhabited islands. I want to meet somebody that has a nice boat, like a yacht. And they put me on the yacht and take me to one of these places and leave me. You know, I don't want them hanging around like spiders. I want the people with the yacht to go. I've always been fascinated with that castaway stuff. That's why I like that movie Castaway and Gilligan's Island too. You know what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get a spoon. I'll be right back. And a flash. Alright, I am back. I got a fresh plate out of the dishwasher, and I got a fork. LAPD. Thought it was conking out there for a second. Nice crust. Nice crust. Outside crust, inside medium rare. Caught me right here. Almost in the eye. You know, I should wear goggles with this. We are done. Bring it inside. That's for my daughter right now. Anyway, I'll be back. Get rid of all this stuff in a flash. All right, I am back. I cleaned here. I used some Windex. It's for glasses, but it also works great on plastic. Resists buildup for up to 30 days. I don't think so. Where? Museum. And then I have some Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. So I brought the steak to my daughter inside, and she says it's very good. I cooked it medium rare. Medium rare, nice crusty outside, and inside the flavor and the juice seal. So anyway, we're having steak for dinner, but that's for now. So, I'm trying to think what other places. You know what interests me for traveling? Far away, remote places. Like Siberia. Watching videos about people living out there. Rough, but it's doable. And northern Alaska, or even the middle, central Alaska. I went to Alaska last summer. Beautiful. It's like amazing beauty. The mountains, the forests, just beautiful. Glaciers. Like to visit that Ellesmere Island in Canada. Of course, I mentioned Greenland. Greenland is one of those places you want to get dropped off. Have a nice backpack full of steaks. You don't need water there, obviously. You melt down the ice. Have a little drinky poo on the side. But I'd like to go there and visit. I saw a video of this guy going to little islands off the coast of Greenland. They're part of Greenland, but he went there with those little planes with the one engine in them. Yeah. So think of these. I used to be in my room when I was a kid, looking through the atlas, trying to find some very interesting places to visit. Russia on the Alaska side, right? I zoom in there and I look at it from Google Earth. Fantastic neighborhoods there. Not the kind of neighborhood you expect, but you know, you have forest and maybe a guy in a little house here. But I would like to visit that. It's just, you know, the beauty there is intense. Of course, Antarctica, I'd like to visit that. Go down to South America, down to Argentina, down to the tip. And then take that boat with the violent water where the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean do not want to meet. It's all wavy and choppy. And then I want to set foot on Antarctica. I just don't want to see it from a distance. I actually want to step there, take a little walk around, do an investigation. The Outback. I was going to say Alaska Outback, but I meant to say Australia. That's another location. I'd like to take a walk in the Outback for a couple of days. And, you know, I mean, we know the usual places. Everybody wants to go to the usual. I'm not, you know, the usual place guy. I like those places too, but I want to see the places where humans don't really go that often. You know, I know people go to Paris, they go to, you know, England and London, and they go to, you know, the islands that are, you know, like famous for their beauty. But I want to go to places where Magellan would go. You know, something that Magellan would want to find. And, you know, I want to rough it a little bit. Go in there, bring your own, you know, stuff to cook, light a fire, controlled, right? And then cook at night, get up in the morning, wash up. You always want to be near a river or the ocean, you know, you don't want to be too far in. But you want to be in a place where there's plenty of water. No water, tough to survive. No food, you could survive for a while, but water is difficult. 3 days no water, you're dead, depending on the temperature. 3 weeks no food, you're dead. 3 weeks though, you can find someplace. And then there's all these, like, I used to, not as much anymore, but I used to go on Google Earth and map out uninhabited islands. I put the little pin on them so I could find them again. I do that with the desert, you know. The desert, years ago, I would search every little location in the desert. I'd zoom in, and then I would get the coordinates, and I'd find it in real life. I'd find it, and then I'd go out there and explore. Sometimes I'd cook. I have cooked lamb out there for my kids, you know. But, you know, I prefer beef, chicken. I have realized, though, since the pandemic that humanity, at least Western world humanity, does not have the skills to survive any long term without a grocery store. We would be dead within a month. You know, it's like, I remember when the pandemic first hit back in April, March of 2020. And I went and I bought groceries, but I bought more than I usually get. And I looked at the cart, the carriage there, and I said, there's tons of food here. This is going to last a long, long time. Within 10 days, we were out. You know, even before that, I was looking at it, I go, running low on eggs, running low on milk. You can only get so much. In cold regions, it's not as much of a problem. You can leave your stuff outside as a refrigerator, and it'll last. Leave your milk outside, as long as you don't have animals coming by. But if you have an enclosed area, you know, like maybe a deck that's got screens or something, you know, you could use that as a refrigerator or a freezer. But where it's warm, if you don't have technology to keep your food nice and cold, it'll spoil. So I can't get, like, you know, 50 cartons of eggs. Who's going to eat them fast enough? Or milk or something like that. But yeah, I realized that maybe people living during the Great Depression had the skill, but people today, they would not be able to. Yeah, there's a few people that would live. You know, you come back to Earth after, like, you know, 6 months, and the only people alive would be survivalists, people you see on YouTube that live in the forest. The only ones that would be here. Everybody else be gone. Like that. I enjoy watching the Outside Boys? Right? Yeah, I think it's the Outside Boys. It's that guy, used to be a lawyer. Got the glasses on, the big teeth. I think it's Outside Boys. His name is Luke. I watch his station, you know, recently I started watching it, like maybe a couple of weeks ago. And I enjoy it. I like where he goes. He's up in Alaska. My only complaint, I don't like the food he brings with him. You know, I want to tell him, you can't get better food. And even the way he cooks it, I don't appreciate it. You know, there's others that do the same thing like he does, but they cook better and they bring better food. A lot of times he brings mushed up stuff, and even the steaks he brings, they don't look, I don't know, they don't look the quality that I like. So other than that, though, I really enjoy that channel. I like where he goes. Saw him one time, he was cooking with a shovel. You know, he brought a shovel with him, dual purpose. I don't know, aluminum shovel, and then he had to season it and make it so it was not sticking or whatever. So he put spices on it, and then he burned it up, and then he wiped it off, and then he cooked his meal on the shovel. I don't know. Isn't there a better solution than the shovel? And I think certain metal is, I don't know, I mean, maybe it's all the same, but I think, sometimes they say it's, the metal is, or the surface of the metal is for food preparation. I don't know if you can grab any old shovel, and I mean, I guess you could if you had a situation. If you had a situation where you were like where he is, and you had to cook something, then yeah, the shovel would work. But I would bring something. And then another time, he brought some kind of a metal thing. He cut it out. Then he brought a rod. He heated it up until it was red. He had a hammer, made it into an angle there, like a handle. Then he welded or screwed it into the actual little pan he made. And then he used the pan to cook a steak on or something. I don't know. But anyway, everything he does, I appreciate. I really enjoy watching, except the food. The food. I think he should try different kinds of food. I used to watch Joe Robinet, something like that. Robinet. Used to watch him. I used to watch him. I haven't watched him in a while now. I don't know what's going on with him, but I like the way he cooked better. He always had a nice prime steak. It looked like it was like top of the line steak. Nice steak. He always had it wrapped up. Like he'd bring other things too, like a potato or asparagus. I don't know asparagus, but different things, onions. And then he would set up his tent somewhere in the forest. I think he's also up in Canada, so there's plenty of space up there to do these things. And then he would cook the steak. And he had a dog with him. The dog would get like half the steak, and he cooked it the way I like it. So I always appreciated watching that channel, because he made the food that made me hungry. But this other guy, I don't know. I just don't find the food appealing that he brings. But like I said, everything else he does on that show is amazing. He digs tunnels in the snow. He gets in there and sleeps at night. I would be thinking, you know what, I'm not sleeping in there. That thing's going to collapse on me. And then so what? It wasn't windy in there. You were warmer, but now you're buried and you're dead. So, big deal. But I like it when he goes to these places. He sets up a tent. The other time I saw him, he was in the rain, waiting for his plane to get back to him. Guy wasn't coming out because of the weather, so he had to wait like 5 hours. He was drenched. So yeah, like watching that. Robinet, used to watch that a lot. I like Lily, that outdoor girl there from Austria or Germany. I used to watch her station a lot, especially a few years back. I used to watch her all the time. Lily, not Lily Marlene. So yeah, there's a bunch of these channels out there. Interesting. Survival Girl, I think it's called. Lily. I watch pretty much everything. I watch the funny stuff, I watch the camping stuff, the survival stuff, fishing, things like that. I'm a big fan of the show Alone, although I wouldn't do well on that because I don't hunt. I've never been hunting. So I've been fishing. Maybe if they put me near a river that had a lot of fish, I'd survive. But if they put me in a place where I had to hunt, like I don't know, a wildebeest or something, or raccoons, things like that, I'd probably end up starving to death. because I wouldn't want to tap out either. So I would have that thing, I want to eat, but I don't want to tap out. So I wouldn't be killing moose. And I have no idea about processing the meat from these animals once you do kill them. So, like, never been hunting. I've never killed an animal, for hunting purposes. I've squashed ants, but I've never eaten anything like that. So that is why I would last a very short period of time on that, because I would not be able to hunt. I'd have to go to hunting school and learn, and then after that maybe I could hunt something. I could probably, maybe with slingshot or something take down a bird, like a raven or a crow or something like that. And then I could probably figure out how to process that. I know how to remove feathers. It looks like common sense. And then I could remove all the other stuff. But then I'd be thinking, you know what, I'm going to get food poisoning here. My hands are all contaminated. I need some kind of, soapy warm water solution, clean my hands. I wouldn't be eating, and then all of a sudden you see like 3 hours later I'm bent over a rock throwing up. No. I'd have to cook my food perfect. I'd have to have my hands nice and clean, so I'm touching the stuff without the bacteria. But I don't know any of that. Now, I do know the other stuff. I know how to prepare a tent. I know how to cook the food once I have it. I can survive quite a long time. I have the will to, I don't get lonely like that. So I won't be like, oh, my wife, I want to tap out. I need my, I know I'll see my wife eventually, so I could last. That kind of stuff, psychological stuff like that I can take. But where I don't have the knowledge is the hunting. And like I said, the reason for that is because I've never gone hunting. But I think I could handle a bird. I think I could take down a bird if I had to survive. If there was like a lot of birds, like maybe if they had a telephone wire in the forest and there was all these crows and stuff, I could probably grab 2 or 3 of those. Me eating crow. I don't know how crow tastes. I don't know if it's tender. I would think not. No, I don't think not. But anyway, so that's it for now. I will probably show up again later. We'll see how the day goes. For now, I'm going to go inside and do a little investigation, see how everybody's doing. All right, that's it for now. Ciao.